Hello, everybody, and welcome in to episode 67 of That Real Texas Team podcast. My name is Curtis Brown, the host of the channel. With me, as always, my resident co-host, Mike, a.k.a. the one and only, a.k.a. the Black Mr. Clean.
I'll take it this week. I'm a genie in the bottle. I got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here this evening to talk about Bobby Slowick being fired exclusively, as well as who to replace. Do we want an old guy? Do we want a young guy? What do we want? Who's available? We're going to get into all that. Before we do, head on over to Maz 3 Productions, help Mike's channel grow. Do the same thing here. We're at 250. Like, see that number keep pumping up. Hit the like button. If we can, the more likes we get, people will just be popping up. So let's begin by saying goodbye to Bobby Slowick. It was not fun in year 2. It was fun in year 1, but like all relationships, it fizzled out because you couldn't carry your own weight.
It ran its course.
It did. Definitely did. It did. But that leaves us with a hole in the offensive coordinator position. And there are some people that are out there. There's some people that are no longer out there. Chip Kelly is not available. He is a Las Vegas Raider. And Albert,
he didn't think that shit through. He didn't.
No, but I mean, between him and Pete Carroll, they're going to have the oldest operating coaching crew. So at least they got that going for him. But according to Albert Breer, Chip Kelly leaves the Ohio State Buckeyes as a national champion to join the Las Vegas Raiders for $6 million a season. Over $1 million more than they were going to give, the Bucs were going to give to Liam Cohen to be the offensive coordinator.
Well,
yeah.
I can't really knock that man for going to get his money on that one.
You got to get the money. And, it's not his first dip of the toe into the NFL. He was an OC for the Eagles. He was a head coach for the Eagles and the 49ers. It just kind of fizzled out. He couldn't really find a defense to kind of match what he was trying to do on offense. But he might be one of those guys who does better as an offensive coordinator than he does a head coach.
Yeah, maybe because the defense won't be his problem. Because what I remember from him with Philly, he scored fast as shit. It was hell on his defense.
Yeah.
His defense spent all goddamn game on the field.
Yeah.
Shit, he's the reason D'Amico got hurt and career ended.
Shit.
Yeah, like I was like, it doesn't seem crazy that the Texans didn't hire him. Maybe it might have been some animosity there. It's like the offense worked, but god damn it.
Yeah. As far as it goes with the offensive coordinator candidates, we've had some interviews already.
Mm-hmm.
Gerard Johnson was the first in-house interview. He's been the Texans quarterback coach for the last couple seasons. Mike and I were talking about him before the pod. He's younger than Case Keenum is.
Yeah. So you forget that because we've been talking about his name, not just as a quarterback coach, but he's been sort of working as a quarterback guru before. Like I said, his relationship with CJ goes back from when CJ was 17.
Yeah.
So he's been what was it like the Jordan Palmer. He's been working with young quarterbacks for a very long time. And I was like, damn, he could still technically be playing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So is this the guy we want as our next offensive coordinator?
I don't know.
I know CJ likes him, but it seems like the type of guy he likes everybody. So I'm not.
I don't have a complete lack of faith in the system that Bobby Slowick had. It was there was no progression.
His play calling never evolved.
Exactly. He made the game plan for last year and then didn't change a single a single period or comma, and used it again in 2024. People kind of figured it out. And so the offense spits and sputtered, and all of a sudden now Bobby Slowick doesn't know how to do anything.
It was like that guy in college that like he wrote a paper his freshman year and then tried to turn it in his junior year.
Yeah.
Just with a different title.
Yeah.
Lazy bastard.
It's pretty ingenious.
Well, now he's an unemployed bastard, but hey.
Yeah. He probably won't be unemployed for long. He's resourceful.
From what we hear, and then his relationships in the NFL is shit. If nothing else, well, PFF might hire him back.
Yeah, he's got that fallback, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Another name, Nick Caley, tight end coach, passing game coordinator for the Rams. He would be another person in the long list of people to leave the Sean McVay coaching tree and spread it into a new era. Liam Cohen having done that pretty recently. Crap, I think somebody else did that too. Was it McDonald?
No, it's Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell.
Yep.
Okay. So look, there's a little bit of gravity to this. There is a little bit of a connection. They are still technically a branch, an offshoot of the Shanahan system. It's just with a lot more photographic memory and cohesion, I assume, because Bobby Slowick's was very rough around the edges. Did not look at all like the Kubiak or Shanahan system of old.
You saw certain aspects when it came to the play action. It looked familiar.
Yeah.
But past that, the only thing with Nick Caley that makes me nervous is the same thing that made me nervous with Bobby when we first hired him, is that lack of play calling.
Yeah.
Like I thought we were trying to get away from the inexperienced guy when it came to the play calling, but
you bring up
in a lot of these other ones.
You bring up a solid point. Young coach versus old coach. Which one is more important at this point? Do you want somebody, maybe not this person, but somebody like Doug Peterson? Not Doug Peterson, but someone like Doug Peterson, who is older, he's been around the block, he's been on several different teams, who just comes in and gives you consistency and understands a lot about like how the game is, having been a former player or whatever. Like I would not be upset if they interview Joe Brady, the Bills OC.
Yeah, it couldn't be. Like I said, he'd actually, if we interviewed him, he'd outrank everyone we've interviewed so far.
Right, but he also is in that situation that Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn were in. They're not going to be taking lateral steps. He's already at probably one of the top, in the AFC, the top 4 offensive coordinator positions. So
I want, if I'm being honest, I want to find the next Todd Monken.
Yeah.
He's a blend of young and old. And look how it worked out for Lamar. Like I joked about it. I was talking to a friend of mine. I literally said, what if the Texans would have brought in Todd Monken? What Lamar sucks at, CJ's great at.
It's true. Throwing.
Ooh, you just gonna throw that slug out there, okay?
Look, well, I mean, if you want to think about it for a second, this is Lamar's best passing year, right? Well, he also faced like the most separation per throw.
Yeah.
Because everybody came up in the box and was trying to stop the run game, which are threats 1 and 2. Threat 3 is the pass game.
With a splash of the run game again.
Exactly. Derrick Henry's primary threat, Lamar's legs are secondary, and then his arm is tertiary, whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Well, I was like, how well does a play action work if you hand it, you fake it to a guy that looks like a left tackle that runs?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So when he's got that, I mean, it's basically like you could put a high school quarterback out there and be like, okay, this guy's going to have about 10 yards of separation all the way around him. Just don't miss.
And what does he do? Miss.
Shit. Thanks,
That's,
Lord.
I think that's the same thing that's making Jalen Hurts look like a good guy right now too.
Yeah.
They're terrified of Saquon killing him,
Mm-hmm.
and he has talented receivers that make
Yeah.
him look better. And I'm
Yep.
not shitting on Jalen Hurts because I love it, bro. He's from Houston. I love the kid, but MVP year to yeah,
Yeah. There's been a fall off, in my opinion.
him and Baker Mayfield look a lot alike.
Yeah. Another offensive coordinator candidate who was technically an offensive coordinator now, but has the same thing in common with the other guys. He's never called plays.
Where
Adam
can Matt
Stenavich,
LaFleur do that?
yeah, well, it's the same thing. Brian Callahan didn't call plays under the Bengals coach. What's his name? I can see his face.
I can't think of his name either, but
I mean,
the
that's
guy
what.
that strangely kept his job.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, fuck. And then I think I don't know if Nixon has decided to stay or not. I think he's the Penn State OC or something.
It was not Penn State, Syracuse.
Yeah, Syracuse. Sorry, my bad. I
Yeah.
haven't heard anything about him in a while.
I think he interviewed to get the experience of interviewing, but he can't really be a candidate for this job, can he?
Shit. Crazier things have happened.
David Culley. Yeah. Yep.
So look, we've got some options when it comes to the offensive coordinator position. We have a little bit of age diversity. We don't know much about potential offensive line coaches.
Mm.
There are every team's got one and they've got an assistant, but I mean, for the most part, you want to not hear your offensive line's name mentioned, let alone the coach's name. If your offensive line and or your coaches or your offensive line coaches' names are being talked about a lot, there's a problem.
He's sucking at his job.
Yeah. So I guess we had to have to look at places where they're assistant at like Baltimore or
Well, I'll be honest with you. I actually thought that was part of the reason they were interviewing Stenavich. Because he's an offensive lineman by nature. And he apparently has a lot to do with why Green Bay's line is pretty goddamn good.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this. I was actually driving to work today, and they were talking about how crucial it is for an offensive coordinator to be a tight ends coach first.
Ooh.
Because you have to teach everything to that position group. All the blocking schemes, all the route trees, the audibles, everything. Tight ends have to know it all. Your tight ends coach is your basic slingshot into offensive coordinators.
Maybe that's why the Cowboys were contemplating hiring their old tight end at one point.
It's very possible. Very possible. Still doesn't make sense why Jeff Saturday was the decision for the Colts a few years back, but
he had a naked picture of the owner or something. It's got to because there's no fucking way.
Yeah, I mean there's a reason Peyton doesn't really fuck with the Colts still. But offensive line coaches, as far as they go, whatever our offensive coordinator is systematically, find an offensive line coach that understands that system, knows how to implement it, and has done it before. Now, I get everybody's going to put their own little twisty twist on everything, but
God damn it, blocking's blocking.
Blocking is blocking. I don't need. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel when it comes to blocking schemes, folks. I really don't want to go away entirely systematically from what CJ Stroud's been doing the first 2 years. I would like to keep it in the Shanahan McVay tree, like that part of the branch, because that's going to keep the run game flowing. It's a primary element of all of those, and the scheme is it. We just got to get a coach who knows what the hell he's doing. We got to
Well,
get players who know what the hell they're doing.
you're selling me more and more on that Nick Caley guy.
Yeah,
Like you're making him seem like more and more of a, huh?
yeah. You can thank Cody Stutes for that because he kind of sold me on it. But
Yeah, Cody gave me something too to with everything. When that one comment that comes up, they say whenever people talk to him, they feel like they just talked to Sean McVay, and I was like, ooh, really?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. That makes the Texans fan in me very erect. Anyway, let's shift gears here for a little bit. Coaching changes have been happening not just to us, but to the rest of the AFC South as well. The Colts fired Gus Bradley after a failed 3-4 year stint there, where statistically in some areas the Colts defense was really good. Like total sack numbers for the last couple years, top 5. They had 62 team sacks 2 years ago. They were top 5 in sacks until a lot of injuries happened this year.
Yep.
So the only issue was they didn't ever draft a secondary player unless it was like the 6th round. They banked on the aging veterans in their secondary to kind of step up and do something, and it just didn't at any point. And you hoped Kenny Moore was going to be able to cover 3 different receivers at the same time. I mean, they drafted Juju Brents in the 2nd round. I will give them credit for that, but he has not been healthy.
No.
Like, he has not been available, and that's just one person. Like, between Kenny Moore and Juju Brents is about 6 ages. Jesus Christ. Like, I've never spoken before. Like, what has happened? 6 years difference in their age.
Experience, yeah.
I
can't even get talking about the talent part between the two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like not even talking about the talent. We're just talking about there's not been a selection made to the secondary since those two.
If I'm being personally honest, I'm thankful that the Colts are idiots.
I
Because
mean,
they fired Gus Bradley. I'm like, okay, thank you. Because at some point he was going to figure it out once they gave him some talent. But you fired him, so. And I don't think him being fired was 100% his fault. It's like you gave me shit to work with and told me to make me a steak.
Yeah. Well, they made a what Jeff from the Colts pod is calling a lateral move and hired the now Jesus Christ, the now recently fired Bengals defensive coordinator.
Shit. Lateral? Yeah, that might be downward.
The Colts defense finished the year at number 25. The Bengals was number 24. Now, one thing that Gus Bradley didn't do, he blitzed at the lowest percentage in the league. What is the difference when the defensive coordinator blitzes at like top 3rd of the league and then also has a team devoid of talent? Like the Bengals defense, who's on there? Trey Hendrickson.
Wow, that really is it.
I can't name a single one. DJ Reader left. They had a Von Bell's no longer there.
Guy we had for a minute. What was his name? Didn't he end up going there? The defensive tackle that we had last year. What was his name?
Are you talking about Sheldon Rankins?
Yeah.
No, I thought he went to um I don't know where the hell he went. I thought it was like New Orleans or something.
Either way, with it makes us look so smart for letting him go because we can't remember shit he did this year.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't really do much if I'm remembering correctly. But I mean, there just wasn't much for the Bengals to work with. He walks into the defense for the Colts with DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, who were a phenomenal 1-2 punch, even though they're now both in
Oh
their
no, it is. It Sheldon Rankins is in Cincinnati. I knew it wasn't crazy.
okay.
Yeah, he just didn't do shit there either.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's my thing. Like, if anybody gets mad at Gus Bradley for not blitzing, it's because he knew his corners couldn't hold shit.
yeah. Yeah. You got to hold long enough for the blitz to get there. They can't. That's the biggest problem. But like when he was in Seattle, had no problems blitzing. Would blitz whenever he needed to. Not the point. Now it's what's his name? It's a really interesting name. The new knee. Oh my god, the new defensive coordinator for the Colts. His name is ridiculous. I can't remember.
Amaru or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a Roomba or something.
Well, let's just call him fired in 2 years.
Yeah. Well,
Fired in
fired
2
in
years.
2 years is now inheriting a defense that has more upfront talent. The linebacker core actually has a name to it compared to Akeem Davis Gaither. Um, and then, I mean, at least Zaire Franklin led the league in tackles or whatever.
Yeah. He
Twice.
does have more to work with, but this is probably going to expose him for not being good at his job even more.
It's very possible, but I also think that they're going to draft some defensive players. They don't spend money in free agency. They just don't do that. But they will. They have to draft more secondary players this year. If they don't, I mean, I imagine because how the hell does Ballard still have a job at this point?
I don't know.
I mean, he's definitely got to be fired if he doesn't draft secondary players. Moving from the Colts, let's go to the Titans. General manager Rand Carthon fired, has been replaced. Um, I God, it's been so long now that I can't even remember homeboy's name. He was like a vice president of football operations or something for the Packers, if I'm not mistaken. And now he is taking over for Rand Carthon.
Yeah. Let me see. What is that guy's name?
He was with the Packers for like 16 years. He was with the Chiefs. I'm sorry, not the Packers. It was with the
Mike
Chiefs.
Bergonzi. Mike
Yeah,
Bergonzi.
yeah,
God damn, I love the internet.
yeah. Thank God for Google.
Yeah.
Mike Bergonzi is a 16-year team building aficionado, is what they're calling him here in Nashville, based on his time building 3 straight Super Bowl teams and 5 Super Bowl teams in 6 years.
Bro, but you had Patrick Mahomes. It makes a lot of things easier.
It does make a lot of things easier. But what are you going to do? So the Titans are putting the faith in him after putting all the faith in Rand Carthon for one season. So it makes me wonder how short the leash is here. There was actually a full-blown investigation brought on by the NFL into the Titans GM opening because the actual fine print of what you're doing is not clearly enough defined for the NFL's standards. They wanted to make sure you weren't just being a glorified like face to go out there and talk to the people.
Wow.
Yeah. Because the guy that they brought, Chad Brinker, the guy they brought in last year with Rand Carthon, who
Made
eventually,
him they made him like the CEO or some crap like that.
yeah. So the GM answers directly to Chad, and Chad answers to Amy. who's the owner of the team.
Oh,
Yeah. So
that's gonna go awesome.
a lot of chaos could possibly go down in Nashville. So, folks, keep that in the back of your heads. And then finally, I would say probably the most ridiculous series of events leading to this. The Jaguars not only fire Doug Peterson, they also fire Trent Baalke after 3, maybe even 4 straight coaching candidate calls ended quickly because Baalke was still there. Once that happened, Shad Khan and Trent Baalke parted ways mutually, is what they said.
I call that bullshit. It wasn't mutual.
No. But once hearing this, Liam Cohen, who was about to sign a 3-year extension to be the Bucks offensive coordinator again, and would have made him at the time the highest paid offensive coordinator in NFL history with like $4.5 million per season. He now takes a job where he's going to be paid in the teens of millions to be the Jaguars head coach at the absolute 11th hour. The deal was so close to being done in Tampa Bay that they had the contract drawn up. He was supposed to come into the building that day to sign it. And when they had everybody show up, he was not there yet. They gave him a call and could not get a hold of him.
The motherfucker was in Jacksonville.
Yeah. He called Todd Bowles and let him know, hey, I'm taking this head coaching job in Jacksonville. Part of the new contract was that he was not going to take the head coaching job in Jacksonville and would not talk to them. So,
Which is illegal. You actually can't write that into a contract, but they tried it.
They tried. So the Bucks are also looking for an OC, but Liam Cohen probably did the funniest. It was sincere, but he just doesn't know what he's doing yet. Do all I've ever heard in my life. Duval.
You know what it reminded me of? Have you seen the commercial where the guys high tide tall guys?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Like Duval? That's I got it right?
Duval. There was like a weird
shit. Yeah, he did the head movement and everything. I was like, oh, they are so fucked.
Dude, I don't know. Look, I'm not going to say they're fucked because there's a history.
He might be good at his job. He might be
great at his fucking job, but he is a fucking cartoon character.
You know who he reminded me of? You remember when what's his name with the Cardinals came in, pew pew pew, said the offense is gonna go pew.
Was that Cliff Kingsbury?
No, it wasn't Kingsbury. Head coach there now.
Gannon?
Yeah, Gannon came in saying that shit on a phone call to Kyler Murray to explain to him how the offense is going to be now that he's there. I was like, oh, this guy.
It's because he thought Kyler Murray was a baby and he was just trying to make noises to keep
him entertained.
Yeah. Pew, pew. Anyway, Liam Cohen is a cartoon character. I don't like. I want the Jags to be competitive, and like I want the games to mean something when we play the Jags.
Oh, you're different to me. I want to see this dumpster fire.
Dude, the Jags haven't done shit to us, really. I mean, like we've got the fucking since we've come into the league, we pretty much had their number for one reason or another. I don't hate the Jags. I hate the Titans and the Colts. The Colts most, then the Titans.
The Colts were the second best team in the division with a quarterback that quit in the middle of a game. What the? That's probably why all these guys got fired.
Yeah.
Because now that I think about it, that would get me fired.
Mm-hmm.
If the competition got a part-time player, a part-time employee whose
Yeah.
production outdoes mine, and I work 75 hours a week, he works 15.
I'm out. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah. They call you into the office. You're like, hey, you don't have to say anything. Uh, I know why. I can't even bullshit. Thank you for letting me milk you for the last 2 years.
Yeah, for real. Oh man. But I think the Jags are in an interesting spot. They don't necessarily have the world's most cap money, but they've got enough money to do something. They need more weapons. They need a better offensive line. I imagine that this means that um, they will have a new offensive line coach coming in. That they will have. I know they fired their defensive coordinator. I don't know that they've brought in a new one yet officially, but I'm sure if you guys head on over to Third and Teal at some point, they'll be talking about that.
Yeah.
But neither here nor there, folks. I think this is a good spot to wrap this one up. Mike, do you have any closing comments?
No, if I could say anything, I'm a little confused about what the Texans are actually doing as an offensive coordinator. I don't know. We don't know if they like most of the guys they interviewed makes us think they're trying to bring in a young guy, except for Bill Lazor. And I swear to God, if the Texans hire Bill Lazor as their offensive coordinator,
Yeah,
Cal, watch your back, Cal.
what I would prefer more than anything that we get. I want an older coach. Like give me like 60 years old
Mm-hmm.
to be my OC, and then
Yeah. No,
let
I was saying when the rumors were going around that the Dallas Cowboys ex head coach might be in line for offensive coordinator position, I wasn't against that. I was like, fuck yeah, yeah. I'm not shitting on Mike McCarthy. He's not bad at it.
no.
Like he could probably be fucking amazing as an offensive coordinator. If you could take some of that stress off of it and not have Jerry Jones as your boss, bro, Mike McCarthy might win a fucking Super Bowl at his next stop.
Again. Got one. It's already got one. Well, folks, I want to thank you for watching this episode of That Real Texas Team podcast. Mike, I want to thank you for taking time out of your evening to come on and talk ball.
Not any problem.
Head on over to Mass 3 Productions, like, subscribe, notification bell, try to pump those numbers up for him. Not here with us tonight was Chris. Head on over to That's Crazy Podcast and talk on all social media platforms, trying to grow his stuff there. Do the same thing here. We're at 250 subscribers, and keep a lookout for some new forms of content coming from the channel. We've been discussing some things, and some things may be coming around the corner. So that being said, folks, be good people. Go Texans. Fuck the Colts.
Fuck the Colts.